Okay, here we are again, another 937 with a bucket under it because apparently it's got a leaking, and it has quite a good leak on this one. It's got a leaking shunt pump. So yeah, it's a good leak on that one. So we're gonna repair this one as well. So let's see if I can get this one drained a bit better than the last one. Okay, so this is what usually happens. Can you hear it? It's sucking in and the water's running out of there. I've obviously turned it off underneath here. So we get this opened right up, and then we'll open this air vent here. And remember, we need to get 15 litres out of this. I'll come back to you when hopefully it's drained. Okay, so this one's gurgling away, it's draining, and we should fill this bucket. It's nice when it starts to drain properly, but yeah, it can be difficult. I'm going to try blowing through both of these pipes to see if I can get one of them draining fully, but we'll see. Oh, nice, sounds good. Sounds good, come on. There you go, there's one draining properly at last. Sucking air in that orange pipe. And now you see why I have two buckets. So I can swap them over quickly, which is what I'm going to do now, and hopefully not drop the camera. There we go. Get in there. So, as you can see, that bucket's nearly full. We'll probably get this one about half full, and we're good to go. Okay, so I've done that. I've had that out. It's back in now. I'm going to start filling up. Everything's back in. I'm going to fill up while I put the PRV and the condense pipe back on. And remember with this, you have to fill up really slow. Okay, so as I put all the rest of this back together, it's going to be filling. I've got one tap open, and hopefully that's not going to leak. Okay, this is all the tools I use to replace that shunt pump. Oh, well, not in the shunt pump, just the O-ring on it. So long Phillips, a flat, spanners and grips, various different sizes of spanners. So that 24 is for 15mm nuts. I keep a 14/15 because I use the 14 on 13s anyway. An 8mm for the drain off. Brush to scrub anything that's really dirty. There's some silicone grease for putting it all back together. A pick to get the O-rings off because they're a bit fiddly. Long nose pliers to help me put clips in and take them out, and a little flat screwdriver, the same for the O-rings. And obviously my two different hoses. That is just a condense pump tube, which has been heated and made a little bit wider. That fits on Worcesters perfectly on the plastic drain offs on the Green Stars. And obviously the normal size hose with a tap bit on it. Obviously I need my analyzer to do my fags, so I'll go and get that in a sec once this is all proven to be fixed. Right, let me just show you some other things here. These are the buckets I use. Nice and flexible, obviously we all know what these buckets are. I buy the cheaper ones, they have the thin handles. I found they work great, they always broke. When they did, this is what I did. I cut them down so they could fit under narrow boilers. This one here is cut for this reason, to change rad valves like that, without taking all the paint off the wall, but the wall's falling apart back there. So yeah, look, that slips behind a rad valve nicely. That's what that one's for. This one, that's going to get replaced because that's broken now. That one there has a whipped handle. That is going to replace that one. That one's going to get cut down to be another small one like this. I always have two decent buckets so that I can swap them out for one another when you're draining down things that you don't really know how much water's in there. So yeah, that bucket there is going to be cut up to replace this one for the rad valve. It's got the low bucket there, and because my bucket's what I drain down into, I have a selection of various hoses, cloths, gloves for when things are red hot. I have obviously gauge tubes in there and stuff like that. That all helps out. So I just thought I'd show you that. I also always use a towel as a dust sheet because it's absorbent, and I have a few cloths for cleaning bits and pieces up. So there we go, that's still filling over there. Got a constant flow of water out here. That's only on a tiny bit. Remember I said you fill it slow? I'm going to turn that on fully now and make sure we've got full flow, and then I'm going to test the boiler. Is it that hard to actually do this stuff properly? Like really? Donuts. Right, so after you've done it all, the way you prove that shunt pump's working okay, obviously that's your mains in, that's your gas, and this would be your hot out if you look on a normal like combi. Turn the boiler on, the first thing it's going to do, provided preheat is on and C is flashing on the display, the boiler's going to fire, and after a few seconds this pipe here is going to get hot, and that's how you know the shunt pump is running and pulling the heat from the plate heat exchanger into the tanks on the back, which is obviously up there. That's one of the tanks. And if you want to be 100% sure that everything is okay, there's a link pipe. There's two tanks at the back there, remember that. And then there is a link pipe, which is that pipe there. So yeah, come down, see that link pipe there. If you feel that and that gets hot, you know that the shunt pump is pulling heat from one tank to the other tank, and right now that's starting to warm up and that's getting red hot. That's probably about 40 degrees now, 50, we're at 60, that's hot now, I have to let go, it's too hot to hold. So that's how I know that the heat is, the cold mains here, that's the hot, that's the shunt pump's kicked in, it's pulling the hot from there into the first tank up here, and then from the first tank through that loop there into the second tank, and we know that that's now working. So that's working, and yeah, it looks crusty, but I promise you that is not leaking up there. I will recheck this nut here because it's got a little bit damp. I'll just dry it and double check it, but it's not leaking from that top O-ring anymore up there, which is super duper.